1, 2. Welcome to the post-game show here live on the channel. Hope everybody is doing well. Give a opportunity for some folks to join in with us this evening. We've got a lot to talk about with Unrivaled. I've got several different takeaways I want to go through. It was a fun first night of the new season, new league. They were in Miami, Florida. That new venue they had, probably about 850 people in there. I wish that they had a little bit better shots of the crowd because it really looked a little bit like the bubble with how they shot it and everything. So it was a lively atmosphere. The players seemed very refreshed and, ready to go all from the beginning of the entire both games. Make sure you are hitting like on this stream. Let's boost these numbers up a little bit. And thank you for joining me again this evening. We got a ton to talk about with Unrivaled and just thinking about, the future of this league, kind of how they are casting the league, some of the commentary I want to talk about tonight. Also want to talk about, some strategic stuff. I want to talk about what players I think would be awesome in this league already. Some of this stuff is played out kind of already how I thought it would, especially with the Rose, who seemed to struggle a little bit offensively. They did fight hard to try to close the gap at the end, but we will, get back to that. But the Lunar Owls got the win in that first game winner by Skylar Diggins-Smith. Nafisa Collier was excellent. I believe she had like 27 points. One thing about Unrivaled I'm noticing is very hard to find a box score for a lot of this stuff, so we have to see if the sites and all that will create their own section to find that stuff. So unfortunately, I won't have like box score stuff to review with you guys this evening. However, I think that this is, there's a lot of things to take away. So first thing that I really noticed off the rip was the amount of space. Yes, they're playing on a smaller court, but still, 3 people are not going to be able to guard all that space. Any elite guard will eat and destroy this league, and it only made me sad that Caitlin Clark is not in this league because she would be scoring 50 points a game with 10 or 12 assists. I swear to God. Kennedy Carter will be just a demon in this format, completely unguardable. The screens are absolutely deadly in this format because if there's a screen set, it's almost free points, whether it's for a backdoor layup or, we saw that a couple times, or the ball handler keeps it themselves. When they turn that corner, there's just tons of space in front of them, or, they can step back and still be in range, for the 3-point shot. So the screen games is going to be like extremely deadly on this. Like I think if somebody rolls out like some kind of a double screen play, it's going to be completely unguardable, just wide open layups or threes. Like there's so many cool plays I could just think up and design just in my head. I think somebody like Tim Duncan would have fun setting backward screens in this format. You set a backward screen, there's going to be nobody there. You're going to drop immediately in front of the rim. And we saw a lot of, wide open layups this evening with that. One other thing I did want to talk about was the commentary, where it was slightly adversarial, kind of to the viewer and a little bit, I would say, to the WNBA. They were pounding heavy that this is how the women want to be treated. Unrivaled has gone above and beyond with the amenities for the players, down to having estheticians there. Of course, they have childcare options. They have, the gym. For complete first-class facilities in every aspect. And this has been, something that, the players have really celebrated. And it seems like it's a directive from, the league, ownership, which, is the players, to really fight, the cause on their behalf to the WNBA for the things they want. They touted the pay for the league. Lisa Leslie, I think, was kind of grating on commentary after a while. I think she tended to repeat a lot of her catchphrases a lot of the time. I think one other thing with Lisa she was doing was, doing a lot of the adversarial stuff with the viewers. Like, if you don't know what you're watching, these are the women that come to ball. These are the best players in the world. I'm pretty sure we're all aware of that. I'm sure, people are dropping in that obviously, don't follow the players, as close as, some WNBA fans might already. But I think some of that stuff is like, it just felt like she was speaking to a viewer that thought the women couldn't play, so she had to be extra aggressive in that. And I think that was just a little bit off-putting, because they wouldn't normally do that like on a men's game or anything. But I think something else to note, open court players are going to dominate this league, just like I was saying a little bit before. I think any big person that wants to be effective, they better be ready to rim run, because they're not going to be dumping it down. You better make your layups, and you better just finish, when you turn around off screens, you got to be ready to hit and go. And the most effective people, I think, are going to be people like De'Erica Hamby. I was shocked to kind of see her get the start over Leah Boston, but I guess that's just, the strategy they wanted to go with tonight. I think Breanna Stewart should dominate this, but I think she can be had with some physicality. I think that's the dirty little secret with Breanna Stewart right now. And, Collier, she's Breanna Stewart's nothing she hadn't seen before. So I am looking forward to seeing what some of the other bigs in the league do. Like, Brittany Griner is perhaps the most interesting player in this entire format, because it can go really good for her, as I'll kind of get to later. I think a strategy that might be, good for her team to use, or she'll be complete barbecue chicken to whoever steps up and, decides to isolate her or put her, in wide open space and say, hey, we're going to see, can you move side to side? Can you move back and forth? Can you, get screened, essentially? And are you going to guard a screen? It's going to be really interesting to see how Brittany Griner fits in this. As far as the bigs that I saw tonight, I thought Angel Reese looked a little bit improved from last year. She, showed a willingness to engage, from the mid-range and the perimeter that I feel like I haven't seen from her. She finished some down low, and she, was all over the glass like normal. And, she actually stepped up on defense a lot more than, shot blocking wise than she has in the W so far. So check in. If you guys are, got anything to say, drop it in the comments. Super chats are welcome. We will read those off and everything. So let's see what else we got on our list here this evening to discuss. I think one other thing, being a bad free throw shooter in this league, it can really lose you games. And I think that's going to be a storyline to follow. The best, if you're coming out here shooting 65%, you are damn near killing your team. I think the value of a good free throw shooter will go way up, because in this, it's only one free throw most times, and it's worth 2 points unless it's a technical foul. So we saw Ryan Howard get fouled on a 3-point attempt, and she had to go to the line, and you make one shot and that's 3. And then just think about that. You miss a bunch of those. You don't get a ton of attempts, but those are just that much more costly. So there will be a premium on free throw shooting. Another thing, I think point of attack defenders will sneakily be some of the most valuable players in the league. And someone I'm talking about here in this case would be Dejanay Carrington. She was running wild like a Tasmanian devil in the third quarter of her game, where she was able to actually, I think this is a very guard dictated league, but she was able to essentially take that guard that's, coming at her and trying to dictate the offense. And it was like she was attacking them the other way and making them, think, whoa, is this the player to really go at? And she was in the passing lane. She was effective on closing spaces. Like when she would offer a double team, she would just fly up and down, finish at the rim. And she's getting to handle the ball a little bit more to get her offensive game. So I look forward to seeing what Dejanay Carrington has to offer. And I think she's going to be an example of somebody that's going to swing a lot of games. I know that they didn't win tonight, but I wouldn't put that one on her. And I think on the other hand, like someone like Chelsea Gray is going to be, I think she's going to be better as the season moves along, but I think it's going to be too late by then. She just struggles to move. So she's going to be someone that will be out here getting cooked and just like letting it fly by and trying to, answer with her own, scoring from that. And it's going to be interesting to see how like a Sabrina Ionescu and basically the people that I think are really good offensive players but poor defenders, rather than someone that just physically can't do it. Like if it's somebody that's like, they can actually move, but they're just not good at it. I think it's going to be interesting to see how like a Dejanay Carrington matches up with Sabrina, for example. Are they going to, play Natasha Cloud a lot of minutes for Sabrina? I believe they're on the same team. So with every team playing so fast, I think strategically there is an opening for a team that wants to play the other way. Now, it just makes sense. Like there should be somebody that looks at their roster and is like, all right, we don't have Ryan Howard. We don't have Arike Gumbawale. Who do we have? And actually, I think one of the teams that might benefit from this that I don't think anyone's really thinking about, and I want to pull it up here just so I have the complete lineup, is the Phantom, I believe. They are a very talented team. You just look at the names on paper. You got Sabrina Ionescu. You got Satsu Sabali. You got Marina Mabry, who I learned is going to be out for 2 weeks due to a calf injury. However, if they decided to slow it down, they are talented enough to make having someone like Brittany Griner on their team worth it. If they just decide to play slow because they've got shooters, they can catch people off guard. It's not like Kate Lou Samuelson and Brittany Griner want to run all that much anyway. I think it would be in their best interest to slow it down and let Sabrina kind of be an elite guard in the half-court game along with Satu and allow Natasha Howard to be their point of attack defender, allow Marina Mabry to, when she's healthy, of course, just be this ultimate disruptor on offense and defense. And, she can score from anywhere on the court, and then you will maximize Brittany Griner that way. Because if she has to run up and down like this, it's not going to be good for her. I think she's going to live in foul trouble, and I think she's going to basically cause Katie Lou Samuelson to have to play way more minutes than I think anybody would actually want Katie Lou Samuelson to play. So, I appreciate you guys joining me this evening. We're going to keep going here. Make sure you hit the like button if you've never seen me before. My name is Rich Latta. Talk about, the WNBA women's basketball, Caitlin Clark. I wish Caitlin was playing out here. It would be so entertaining, but we're going to, keep breaking this down and, seeing what they got going on anyway. Strategically, I think it is a really interesting game because it is 7 minutes for the first 3 quarters, and then it's an untimed quarter with the Elam ending. So basically they're trying to set a pace essentially for the first 3 quarters. Say we get up to 70 points and you have the lead, they'll give you 11 points for your target score, and then that's going to be 81. So it's really crucial to get off to a lead, I say. But first 2 games, both teams that came in with the lead all of a sudden, tightened up, which was strange to me. I wonder if it's like a psychological thing, and it kind of allows for, an exciting ending, a run to be made, and, of course, a game-winning shot at the end. I think with every team, the third quarter is really when you need to be on fire. That's when you're playing your best. For me, it would be playing your best players, really trying to get that lead up as much as possible or close that gap as much as possible. I think you might want to rest, your best players in that whole second quarter and really lean on your best players in that third heavy before getting them back midway through the timeless period. I did One other thing I did notice was the conventional lineups that were being played. I thought we would see much more experimentation as far as basically I didn't see any all guard lineups. There was always a big in there. I think the second quarter is a great place to experiment just to see what what people can't guard. If you never put them in an uncomfortable situation, you will never find out really what a potential strength of yours is. And if we had someone like a Don Nelson or a Mike D'Antoni, someone that would basically be like, all right, we're going to put the ball in, somebody that's an ultimate playmaker's hands, and we're going to lean on them to, really attack this defense in almost a scientific way. I think that would be really interesting to see. So I look forward to one of the other. I only got to see 4 teams in the league, so there's 2 more I haven't seen yet. There's going to be a point where I think someone does try that stuff, and I think it's going to be really interesting. And I think trying it against a team like the Phantom are such a fascinating team to me on paper. I'll go through the Phantom lineup. So that's Satu Sabali, Marina Mabry, Brittany Griner, Natasha Cloud, Katie Lou Samuelson, and Sabrina Ionescu. I think just all together they make for an interesting stylistic kind of team. The Lunar Owls ended up winning, on a buzzer beater, as I mentioned earlier, from Skylar Diggins-Smith. I thought Courtney Williams played well. She's just a gamer, and Nafisa Collier was very effective, as well as Alicia Gray. She made me feel really smart when I was watching her play earlier. Let's see. We're gonna check these comments and all that, see if I'm missing anything. And I don't know if we are or not, but I think, let's see. But nah, man, thank you guys for being here. This is really cool that you guys decided to click on my live. Yeah, man, let's take a look at the Mist, because I think the Mist did a lot of great things this evening as well. I think Courtney Vandersloot is going to be someone I would watch her minutes. They don't have much in the way of guards as far as distributors. So, I think she's such a liability out there, though. She's going to be ceding a lot of minutes to DJ Carrington, I think, as the season goes on. Jewel Lloyd was absolutely on fire, out of her mind in the first half of that game. I believe she had 23 points, may have finished with 30, if I'm not mistaken. As I mentioned, I don't have the box scores handy. I thought Rakia Jackson looked good out there, just in that mid-range. She can just take a dribble, rise up, and, she shoots over anyone, at a pretty solid percentage, I'd say. Stewart, I think she could be had a little bit, man. I know she won the championship this past year, won a lot of, different awards and stuff throughout her career, but man, for me, she seems like such an ideal basketball player to dominate, but I never really feel like she's putting the fear of God in people. She really has the skill set too, but it just doesn't come off that way to me. I think my favorite team, that I'm probably just going to fall in love with watching is probably going to be the Vinyl between Arike and Ryan Howard. Ryan Howard, I saw my man Mick Talks Hoops picked her to win the MVP of the league, and she made him look really smart. I was definitely looking forward to seeing this team because I knew they were going to be very tough. They had a remark early on. They said, how did they even allow Arike and Ryan Howard to be on the same team? Which is crazy. I think, my man Fresh Cut Grass is in the comments. He said, I guess we have to hear Point God for the rest of the season. Where does that come from? I'm impressed by Hamby. I wouldn't mind having her if Sabali didn't work out on the Fever. So, yes, they were very heavy-handed with the Chelsea Gray Point God thing. I think it's just it's a direct rip from the Chris Paul nickname. And she's someone that kind of fits his play style, I think. Very flashy passer. They even kind of move around the court the same way, which is kind of funny. She plays like an old Chris Paul. I think Dearica Hamby is really good. I only have one problem with how Dearica Hamby plays. She looks down when she dribbles. I don't know if you guys noticed that. I just noticed that today. So I think though she does have a willingness to attack the rim, which will make other bigs have lots of problems because there is not that fourth and fifth defender and offensive player. So even the bigs have a chance to really kind of show their skills. And if there's someone that has, an aggressive mindset like a Dearica Hamby who's like, all right, I'll take the contact and I'll go to the line to finish it off. She was putting Angel Reese like on skates and really taking it to her at certain points. And I think Hamby is going to be a player to watch, especially like she doesn't have the pressure of being the best player on the team. It's kind of shocking that she started. I think they might have wanted Boston in there with Ray and Jordan just to really be that, like, hey, we're going to give you the entire second unit. But if you're playing with Arike and Ryan Howard, you almost have a green light, free reign. Just don't mess up, and and you'll be effective. So I'm really liking the Vinyl, and they're coached by Teresa Weatherspoon. I think Weatherspoon is out to prove a lot of things, a lot of narratives that followed her throughout the season with the accusations of the Angel Reese kind of number pumping, the stat stuffing, if you will. She's actually got some players that can play offense, it looks like. So I'm telling you, this team is going to be scary, the Vinyl. Let's talk about the Rose, man. We got to talk about it. So as I mentioned before, Chelsea Gray and Angel Reese. So they were making a big deal of this combo, and I just don't think they have the correct kind of mindset on it. Because I think to be super effective with somebody like a Chelsea Gray, you need somebody that is a complete offensive player. She's kind of like a defender still and a wild energy person, Angel Reese. So, like, when those are your two kind of, I don't know, I would say, like, those are your I don't even want to say star players because they got Kalia Copper there, who's clearly, like, I think the most talented player. But the thing is, Chelsea Gray is handling the ball, and then Angel Reese is likely going to be running the floor because she is obviously has a great motor and everything like that. Copper's kind of going to have to get it on her own. So I just struggle to see where a lot of the scoring is going to come from on here. Lexi Hull did get in the game earlier, and she, hit a 3-point shot, and they dropped an antidote that she says she feels like Caitlin Clark saved her career, so that was cool. But yeah, this Rose roster is like, they are going to get beat a lot, I think, and it's just going to be the lack of weapons. And Chelsea Gray is not going to be able to guard people, and then between her and Reese, that's just not enough to be two of the three best players. Like, it's just not in this league. This league is too talented. So the Laces will be in action, I think, tomorrow. And that is the team with Alyssa Thomas and also Kayla McBride, Jackie Young, and also the Phantom is in action. But out of the four teams I saw tonight, I think the Lunar Owls looked pretty good, like as far as Nafisa, who's just a dog. But I'm going with the Vinyl, man. I think the Vinyl's my squad, man. I might have to. I reserve the right to change that to the Phantom, but the Vinyl kind of appeals to what I want to watch this league kind of be, because they've got people that play both ends of the floor. They have a big that can attack the rim. They've got Aaliyah Boston who can post up and do things in the mid post and make decisions on her own. Obviously, Arike and Ryan Howard. Ray Burrell is a tall player that can shoot. Hit a couple of shots today. Jordan Canada had a couple timely defensive possessions. So they just feel like, I think, just overall, like this is the dark sheep, or the black horse, or you guys know what I'm trying to say, the dark horse of the thing. And even Ray Burrell was interviewed about that at halftime. But as far as Unrivaled, I think if you haven't watched it so far, give it a run. Like, the games go by really fast, and I think like this will whet your appetite if you've been missing the WNBA. It is kind of a different game. It is super fast. So, like, there's going to be times in the second quarter where you're just zoning out, just kind of watching, immediate score, throw it out the net, take it all the way, foul. And, I think people should, give it a chance. And it's really cool, like, to see the athletes not have to go to foreign countries, and they're getting paid more than any women's professional sport ever, to do this here. And I think some of the messaging, though, like, could be more fan friendly, like, because a lot of this is how much it is for them and how much they enjoy this and stuff like that. I think they need to find a way to kind of reach out to the fans a little bit. I think they need to, do more media. And I know they had their media day recently, and really make it to where the fans are invested in seeing them prosper and succeed, because I think a lot of people see Unrivaled as like this spin-off gimmick, and it's just for the players. It's just for seeing them get what they've earned, and in a lot of cases. But like, they are putting it on TV. Like, they're not they're not just playing these games for the heck of it. They want somebody to watch it. WBD did a deal with them, so they want to gather an audience somewhere. So I am looking for more fan, kind of like, is there gonna be like some type of Unrivaled All-Star game? Is there some kind of they could be doing stuff like not giving away tickets. They could be running contests to get people in there, because there's some in Miami, and they got about 800 people. But man, I'm in Atlanta. I would love to go to an Unrivaled game, but it's like you got to get all the way down there, and who knows what the tickets look like. So I think if they go crazy a little bit more with the marketing, just kind of reach out to the fans a little bit more, I think that's an opportunity that will pay off, I think, for Unrivaled, because a lot of fans, I think, don't see this as Unrivaled. They just see the women's basketball players that aren't Caitlin Clark, which they don't really see much difference between the WNBA and Unrivaled. So I think the more things you can do to kind of like make yourself and the style of basketball you play likable, the better. Because I think a lot of people do have open minds, like, these are the players that are going to be in the league. Like, say, I started talking on my channel a lot about Caitlin Clark, because I'm a huge Caitlin Clark fan. But Caitlin Clark does not play the game alone. Like she's out there against, these women. So I think it's in everyone's best interest, whether you are somebody that is like a Caitlin Clark diehard like myself, or not, like, to get to know the competition that way. Like, when you beat the competition, it feels a little bit better. A little bit more about them. When if you lose to the competition, you're like, damn, you know what? They got us. They do have some talent. So like, I think there's a lot of opportunities between Unrivaled and the WNBA to continue cultivating the fan base. And as I mentioned, for me, it sucks that Caitlin Clark's not playing, just because I would love to see her play. I think Kelsey Mitchell would be incredible in this format, as well as Kennedy Carter. I think Asia Wilson would do damage as a rim runner, and then also like being in that mid range, and she loves to set screens, and she's physical. She would terrorize this league. So I'm really excited about watching more Unrivaled, and tomorrow they've got games at 2:00 and 3:00 on True TV. It's gonna be the Phantom, which is the Sabrina Ionescu led team, against the Laces. Those are the other two teams that did not play, and then the Lunar Owls will play against the Rose tomorrow. So the Rose are gonna probably start 0-2 here, and let's see, the Laces. That's that Alyssa Thomas, Kayla McBride, Jackie Young team against the Phantom. I'm going to take the Phantom on that one. And, they're back on January 20th, which is Tuesday. So I'll be snowed in here. Hopefully I can watch a game. Nope. Nope. The snow doesn't come here until Tuesday. I'll be able to watch it. That's cool. I guess we're going to wrap it up here. I appreciate you guys watching this post-game show. I think that Unrivaled is a very cool league. I'm going to cover it more on the channel, and, it's going to be a labor of love, I think, a little bit. So I'm really into it, and hopefully you guys will be as well. So anyway, my name is Rich Latta. Appreciate you guys coming through. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit me on the Cash App just above. That is Rich Latta 32. Appreciate all donations and super chats, and even if you catch it late, you can do the thanks and everything like that. So Anyway, I'm up out of here. Appreciate you guys watching, and we'll do it again soon. Holla.